All right, so today I'm actually organizing my yarn. This is yarn. That's yarn, totes behind that's yarn, and that big tote is yarn. All of this is just yarn that I have to go through. And not including, pretty sure some of these are also yarn. Yes, also don't mind the mess. I'm in the midst of moving everything in here because I want to like redo this. And I know it's a mess right now, but like, look at all this yarn. It's a lot. Also, it is a muggy day, so I got the fan on. I'm actually wearing shorts. I do not wear shorts often, but I need to wear shorts, so I'm wearing shorts today. It's also raining, and it's like, there's nothing really for me to do in the house besides maybe like edit a quick video, but I kind of want to get this done. Might as well do this now when it's kind of like the sun isn't beating down, so maybe it's not going to be so hot. The totes. These totes. Okay, I spent quite a few pennies at Dollarama the other day buying these totes because they're not cheap. Anyways, I ended up buying 4 boxes of these. I like how they snap close. So if they're gonna snap close, I know nothing's gonna get into them. So I got 4 of those. And then I got 3 of these ones. It was $4.50. But like, this is a nice little bucket, and I know for a fact that if I were to go to Walmart and get a Rubbermaid tub like this, it would probably cost me 10, 15 bucks. I don't know if I'm standing in the right spot. I have like croquet things down there. I haven't filmed in this area. I'm always filming in that area over there, but never this one, so testing it out. The plan with these little ones is that I have a bunch of the most randomest yarns, okay? Like I have glow-in-the-dark yarn, less than 10 skeins of them. So if I have glow-in-the-dark yarn can go in here, and then that way when I'm looking for glow-in-the-dark yarn, I know which container it's in. I probably should have gotten smaller containers for like the smaller ones. Big containers are actually gonna be for like my acrylics, my maybe cottons. I don't think I have that much cotton. That's why I'm kind of thinking about putting cottons maybe in like this one. But like when it comes to my acrylics, I actually want to separate them. I want to have like warm tone acrylics together and cool tone acrylics together. That way when I'm looking for a purple acrylic yarn, I'll be like, I know where that is. I know what I want. So let's just start organizing because I don't know. I think I might dump all the yarn out. This is all the yarn. This is all the yarn, and now I gotta go and sort through it. Yeah, for anyone wondering if I did actually bury myself in the yarn for the thumbnail, I did. I'm in the yarn right now. I'm in the yarn. And you know what? It's actually kind of cozy. Maybe I should just make the yarn a bed and just never get up. That's where I live now. I live amongst the yarn now. I don't know if this was the best idea, but also I needed every tote free. And here's some more yarn. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Oh no, and I also forgot about this one. This bag. There we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna set up totes like this. I have like the organization, I have the bins, yet I am just so scared. It's really raining now. Can you hear that rain? Here's the thing. I don't wanna like try to find all the same yarn at once. I wanna like just go into the pile and be like, okay, I'm gonna throw this yarn into here, I'm gonna throw this yarn into here. I'm just gonna have like a little system, and I think that's gonna work for me. I'm gonna make one more pile in this one. This one is gonna be the most randomest one that like I don't know what to do with. Like this one here, I got it at Michael's, it was on sale, they don't sell it anymore, and it's called Eco Cozy. And I got these 2 colors, but it's like I don't have any other yarn that is even remotely like it. So it's just gonna go into this random bucket, and then maybe at the very end when I look over everything, I can figure out maybe I need more totes, right? I didn't want to buy too many totes and I didn't need all the totes, but now looking at it, probably gonna need more totes. And I would love it to do it by brand, but I just don't think that's necessary for me. I don't know if you guys have ever used one of those little round peg looms, or they also come in like rectangles and stuff to make scarves and hats. I was obsessed with it. And the one yarn that I liked to use the most was this chunky yarn. I bought so much chunky yarn. And I don't think I've used this type of yarn for a project since probably 2019. I think was the last time I used like that chunky yarn. Like I was saying, random weird yarn. This that looks like moss, and I love it. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Don't know how to crochet with it. Another really random yarn. go in the really random yarn pile. Yarn that looks like this, it's like multicolored acrylic yarn. I do have a pile, and in the biggest tote, I'm just gonna put this yarn because I'm not gonna split it up between warm tone and cool tone because I don't have as much of it as I do like just regular acrylic. Like this here is just slightly thicker. It's not even that much thicker, it's just slightly thicker. The acrylic that I use the most is called Impeccable by Loops and Thread. And then this one here is the Craft Smart, also known as Soft Classics now. And this is also by Loops and Thread. And this is sold at Michael's as well. But this yarn is just ever so slightly thicker, and I just don't like it when the two go together because then the tension is just off. So that's why it's gonna go in its separate thing. If you remember, I did a video on this here. I actually have all the colors now. Mary Maxim actually got all the colors in, and they had a really good sale on them, and they had free shipping, so I ended up ordering the 4 that I didn't have, and this is one of them. So now I have all of them because eventually I'm gonna do a project. Okay, so here's when it comes into something tricky, is like this type of yarn. I don't know what to do with it. I also have to make some judgment calls, because would this yarn here be in with the color changing yarn, or would it go into its own category, or would it go into chunky yarn, or would it go into the mystery pile? I'm gonna put mystery pile, and then when I'm done, maybe I'll go through the mystery pile. I hope this video is somewhat interesting of me going through my yarn, because it had to get done, and if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make a video, right? I actually have a bucket for this one. This one's gonna go in here. This is like that soft, like velvety kind of yarn. That's gonna be in its own bucket. I'm also finding like a lot of labels, so I'm gonna put them aside, and then I'm gonna read them and see what color they kind of suit, and then I'll put them in the correct box that they go into. And like, look at this cute yarn. I think I might have picked this up in local yarn store day 2023. Look how pretty that is. It's like a nice cotton. I think this is 24/7 Lions brand cotton, which I just made a hat. If you hadn't watched it, I made a hat video. Another thing that I actually like find so fun is that when I'm going over this yarn, sometimes I only had to buy a certain skein of yarn for like one project and then never used it again. And now I'm like finding the yarn. I'm like, oh right, this yarn. I remember that project. Like sometimes I forget how much stuff I crocheted. And like if you guys want a video of me going over everything that I've ever crocheted, probably since like the start of my channel, which would have been 2021, let me know, because I can do a video. I usually do like, you know, everything I crocheted in 6 months, everything I crocheted over the year. But if you want everything I crocheted, let me know in the comments, because I'll make that video if y'all are interested in seeing everything that I've crocheted, because honestly, I think I've forgotten a lot of stuff that I've made. I also think that when it comes to like these little balls of yarn, I'm just gonna throw them in where they belong, but I think I might get like Ziploc bags and bag them up, so then that way they're just not rolling around and entangling everything up, right? At one point, you just have to cut your losses. I've run out of little totes, so I'm actually gonna start bags now. I'm just gonna do a little bit more organizing, and then I'll catch back up with y'all. Okay, so I think I made a little bit of a dent. I know it probably doesn't look like I've made that much of a dent, but I made somewhat of a dent. I can actually see the floor again, so that's fun. I didn't realize how much little things of this I have. You know, like I should be like maybe putting an elastic around this and writing down what type of yarn it is if I know, and I do want to do that, but I think the main thing of right now is just get them sorted into their bins. And then what I can do is I can go through each bin individually and take my time instead of rushing it, right? Because here's the thing, I don't want to get burnout. I don't want to get like halfway through this pile and writing notes and elasticking things and putting things in bags, and then I just want to give up. Because when I want to give up, I don't know when I'm gonna come back to finish it. Right now, I just want everything in its own, what is this? This is cotton yarn. In its own little tote. I also think I need to get bigger totes for certain things. I didn't think I needed to. I think I'm gonna have to. Like cotton yarn, I didn't think I had that much cotton yarn, but the cotton yarn is literally, how many you is this? And I know I have so much more cotton yarn. So I think I'm gonna make a thing over here, cotton yarn, which gives me this space to put something else in there. But that was also like a good thing for organizing, that if you don't know how much you're gonna need of something, start in a smaller bin, and then once it gets full and you know you have more to put away, dump it into a bigger bin if you have a bigger bin, and then you can use this for something else. Because I didn't think I was gonna have that much cotton, and yet here I am with all this cotton yarn. I got a little bit further. It's not that much, but it's further than it's been. Oh no, I like this yarn. Oh no! I bought this yarn because I wanted to make a cup cozy out of it months ago, and then I just proceeded not to do it, dealing with the consequences of my own actions. Kind of dealing with like this stuff now, which isn't the greatest, but like look at, like I started like here and now I'm all the way here, just trying to grab all the stuff that's like easily to grab and it doesn't like get caught and everything. Making some progress. Okay, so what you saw there is I switched those two because I didn't realize how much like color changing yarn I had and that needed to go into the bigger one. And I guess that one I didn't really have that much, so that's fine. Making a bigger dent. It's working out. I'm actually getting somewhere. It's getting there. I'm quite happy. I'm still moving though. I just really want it all sorted out today, and then from there I can figure out how I want to even organize it even more. This is what I want to do. I want to eventually take all the small pieces of yarn in all the different bins and put them in like little bags like this. All of this yarn that is left is all kind of tangled in here, and so I'm gonna do my best to untangle it. But if not, again, I'm gonna use the scissors. So. At what point is it even worth trying to save this? It's so twisted that I don't know if there's a point. This is what happens when you don't organize your yarn, is like this. This happens. I'm still gonna try to keep pulling out little pieces, and then hopefully the little pieces will like add up. Like the little balls of yarn like this. If I wind it. Okay, all right, we got one. All right, so I've officially given up trying to get this stuff out. I mean, if some of it will come out, great. If not, I'm cutting. I'm cutting the yarn. I'm sorry. People might be like, oh, I like enjoy doing this. That's good. I wish I could. I like puzzles. I just don't like this type of puzzle. So I'm gonna try to get out as much as I can, but if it's just stuck in there, then I'm not. Like, look, this one came out. This one's great. Let's try another one. Let's try this red one. Look, that one came out too. Of course, once I say I'm using the scissors, it's cooperating. All right, so this is what I'm left with. I'll use it for maybe like some stuffing or something, but like I just couldn't. I could not. I just couldn't do it. Like, but if you look though, other than that, I got all the other yarn put away. So let me just kind of go over where everything is right now. Starting over here. This is all of the thicker acrylic. Then we go really chunky. This is the warm tone acrylic. This is the cool tone acrylic. This is all of the, you know, color changing random yarn. In here is all the cotton yarn. I feel like this basket might be too big for the cotton yarn, so I think I'm going to swap it with this one. Right now, this is in a bag. I still have that one. Do you think all the cotton will fit in there? But I do eventually want a bigger one for cotton. That is overfilling, so I'm going to need something different for that. And then, of course, we come here to the oddball. That thin yarn can now go in there, and then that's going to go into there. It is now Thursday. I had to think about that because I keep thinking it's Friday. It's Thursday, so it's been a few days. I bought more totes. I know it's a lot of totes, but here's the thing. It's because all of my yarn wasn't organized the way it was supposed to be organized. I kept buying yarn that I probably already had. Totes are very necessary. Bought more of these totes. These were the $4 ones. I really like them because they fit a good amount of stuff. And then I went to Canadian Tire and they had a sale also on totes. These ones are called Type A. I don't know if that's the brand. That might be the brand. These were on sale for like $6.99 Canadian, so I got 2 of them. Before, I really liked getting the clear ones, but sometimes I'm like, well, you know, if the sun comes in, you don't want that discoloring your yarn. The reason why I do have clear ones, one, I mean, these little ones, you know, what are you gonna do? But the bigger ones that are clear, I had gotten them years ago when I still had the yarn in my house because I only needed 2 totes of yarn. Also today, I'm going to be labeling the bins. Now, when it's the small little bins, I'm going to be using this. This is a vintage Astro label maker. I love it so much. I think I got it at an estate sale. I don't know. There was a time when I kept finding these at thrift stores, but they're always a different color or a different make. And so I bought all of them because they don't make them like they used to. And if one breaks, well, I can't just go to a store and buy a new one. I'm not buying the new ones. I don't really care for the new ones, like the digital ones. They're fine. And then for the bigger totes, I did get some masking tape. Is this what that is? Masking tape. Out of all of these containers, this one and this one are the only ones that I have to really go through because they're kind of mix and match. This one is again, the most randomest stuff ever. And this one is that fine yarn, but like this is a brand. This is the Wander acrylic yarn from Furls Crochet Hooks, and I would like them to have their own little bin. And then I also have like this yarn, which is like the Kind Feather Hobie yarn. So what I'm thinking is that the yarn that I've gotten from websites, I think just Hobie and Furls, they'll go in their own little bin just in case I ever order from them again. I know what I have. I think that's a good idea. So I think I'm gonna do some dumping again. I know I shouldn't be dumping more stuff on the ground, but honestly, it's like the easiest way for me to sort through things. So that's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna deal with this yarn. I'm gonna put this in actually the gray one. This is the yarn from Arcane Fiber Works. They were really gracious and sent me some. And if you remember in the springtime, I did make this sweater. I really wanna make the same sweater, but in this for the fall time. This one is called Busy Bee, and then this one is called Behold, and then this one is called Fruit Fusion. These ones here, because how they're wrapped, I'm gonna put them in their own bin. These, I'm gonna put them in there. This tote here is gonna be for one-offs, okay? Random yarn that I don't know, like this yarn here. I only got one. Don't know what I'm gonna do with. That can go in there. This kind of yarn that looks like moss can go in there. This yarn here, which is like a carpet. I have a lot of that carpet yarn. This is a chunky yarn, but like the way it is, it's like a one-off. I think I might put this in my chunky bin, which is over there. I was actually gonna put this stuff in here, but I think it's too small now, as this is gonna be like the Hobie type of yarn. I forgot about like this stuff is that. That's that. All right, I'm going to start working on the labels now to do wool. These here are for all the littler ones like this. I might put some bigger ones on this side, I don't know yet. And then I made these ones, you probably can tell that I've been watching The Bear. So I made them real nice and real neat. And now I'm gonna put them on top of the totes that they belong to. All of the yarn is now organized. I don't know how it happened, but in the hour that I left the house, came in here, I lost the lid to this one, and I lost the lid to this one, but I gotta find the lids. This is the yarn stash. It's not really gonna stay here because I don't want the light to come through and hit it. I wanna organize the cabinets and put some yarn away and stuff like that. Let me just go through the yarn with you. So over here we have cotton. I think I wanna get a bigger container for this one, but they fit right now, so I have cotton. Down here is like velvet type of like velvet, soft, that kind of stuff. This one here is thick wool, so it is the chunkier wool. Over here I have the yarn from the Creative Knitter, so it's stuff that Stephanie has hand dyed herself and just yarn that they sell in the store. I tend to buy a lot of. Then we have the scrubby yarn, so it's like the scrubby kind of yarn there. Over here we have the sparkle. Then we have the regular wool, so this is like a medium weight to like light to like fingering weight wool. Then we have bamboo, then we have glow in the dark, and then down here this is the thicker 4-weight medium yarn, the yarn that I was telling you about that's called Soft Classic. And we have the warm toned medium acrylic yarn, and then we have the cool toned medium weight yarn. Those are like the acrylics. And then we have the hand dyed yarn, the 3 light weight yarn, which is still acrylic but just lighter weight. We have the multicolored yarn, so that is yarn that has different colors in it, or it has the striping kind of. Also in there has all of those all-in-one granny square color yarn. Then over here we have the online yarn that I can't buy in store. Then we have the very, very random yarn. So this is the most random yarns that I only have like one of anything or two of anything. And then down here, we have the chunky yarn. That is all of my yarn, all nice and organized. So if I know I have to come in here, I know where it all is. Well, I want to like organize it a little bit better in here. I might actually convert the bathroom that I don't use into the yarn station. But right here's all my yarn. As a bonus, I'm going to show you all the random stuff that were hiding in my yarn buckets before I had dumped them out. I crochet strawberry, my first project I've ever made on a knitting machine. 2 granny squares, this SpongeBob looking flower that I crocheted, a water bottle cozy, this crochet kit to make an RV camper. Still haven't made it. I think I bought this 2 years ago. Some really cute bag straps that I bought because I really thought they were cute and I haven't done anything with them yet. This granny square that I made for a balaclava back in 2022. Flower looking thing, which I think was my first draft of making one of these for that crochet lamp that I made that I still need to fix. I think this was supposed to be a bag. It's an unfinished project. Pieces to that one cardigan I made back in 2022 and I had to take it apart several times, and these are the leftover squares that I didn't need for the project. I think it's supposed to be a sunflower granny square. It was going to be a bag, and I think I did make the bag, but I made too many of these. Some bias tape, a pack of unopened yarn bobbins. I was looking for these everywhere. Stitch markers, and I keep losing them and I wonder why. 5 wound yarn bobbins. Knitting elastic. I also had lost this one. Glad I found it. And a yarn needle. I honestly keep losing these. All right, the yarn is all done. I'm so grateful. Again, if you're new to my channel and you like crocheting and yarn, why not hit that subscribe button? I organized all my yarn. I can't believe it took me this long to do it. It needed to be done. It needed to be done. The problem with me when like buying yarn, I need like a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And it's the colors I don't have. And then I end up with a full skein of yarn that I only needed like a little bit of. And then I forget what I have, and then I go to the store and then I buy more. I already had it at home. So now it's all there. I just need to find an app on my phone. I know I could write it all down, but I would like to find an app on my phone where I can list all the yarn that I have and take photos and stuff like that. I think I do have an app. It's not like Ravelry or any of those ones. It's like a random one, and I just haven't gone through it. But now that all the yarn is organized, I feel like I could probably go through like one bucket a day or one tote a day and kind of do it that way. I'm really excited to have that organized so that way when I go to Michael's or I go to a yarn store and I'm buying a yarn, I'll know if I already have it, and so I don't have to buy more of it. I also want to say that a lot of this yarn is probably 10 years old. I've been crocheting for a while. I think a lot of yarn I bought for projects back in like 2014. 2013, 2012, 2010. I bought yarn all the way then. I would make like a little project and then I wouldn't touch it. A lot of this yarn is accumulated over like a 10-year period. I do say probably the majority of it is probably the last 4 years. That's when I really got into it. Now that I have everything organized and sorted, I feel that hopefully my buying habits of yarn will go down. Okay, like they're not gonna stop. I'm still gonna need yarn for projects that I don't have, and that's the problem. Now I know that, hey, instead of going buy yarn, let's see what I have, let's see what I can make. The only problem, again, the only problem is the dye lots, okay? I'm still not over that Fall Out Boy sweater. Still not over that. So I want to make sure that the dye lots are the same. So if I know it's going to be a big project and I only have one skein of yarn, probably going to buy more. If it's a small project, like some tote bags, I really like tote bags. Maybe some vests. I feel like I have a lot of yarn that I could do some vests, you know, use it up. Overall, I think I did really good organizing the yarn. I am really excited to like just have it all in one place, not have to worry about it and not have to be like, do I have this? Dig through a bunch of stuff and not find it. Where now I'm like, hey, I need this color and I need this type of yarn. Which box is it in? And I think I might put more labels. I put the labels on the side so that way I can stack, whereas if I were to put them on the top, they're all stacked. What I would like to do eventually when I have a little bit more time, I do want to put more labels like all 4 sides and the top of each one, and then that way, no matter what way they're facing, I'm always going to know what type of yarn it is. If you need to organize your yarn, this is your sign. Just do it. Just organize your yarn. You'll be thankful when it's all done. You saw what I started with. You remember that pile? The pile is all gone. It's all organized in the bin. But yeah, that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.